whakarongi ngā kōrero, ka puta mai roti tō tātou hui. Ono ko te mea nui, huri peni ngā mi, ngā manakitanga, kia tau ngā manakitanga ki runga tō tātou kingi tūheitia, pōta tau te wherawhera tū awhiti. Ana anō mai nā ringu te torona tapu wai o te ona mātua tūpuna, ara ki runga hoki tana whaia te tairangi kāhu. Kia tau hoki ana manakitanga ki runga te makau ariki āta whai, me aura o tamariki mō puna, pa te wharai kāhu iriki nui tonu. O tira tāno kia tātu katoa e pai nei, o te tūnui o tō tātu tupuna whare. Ano ki ngā mate, wene tō mātu nei kōro ki o tātou mate, ko huri atu, mai te tau, ngā marama i ngā wiki, tāno ki te rā nei. I rongo mātou, i te rā tō tātou whaia, a Elsie Davis, e memo tēnei marae ne o kā reo, nei te tūro tō tātou whaia, koe atu, me ngā mate huhua hoki. Ea korangi tira kāre tāte te inga atu kia rātou kei wai hoi te hi atu, engari kia koro mā rātou katoa. Oina, kia e te koro kuri tangi e mai me ara o kia rātou. Nore inga mate haere moi mai roto te ariki. O tira hapi ki hono, tātai hono, rātou kia rātou, hoki mai kia tātou katoa korangi tira. Oina, mea tu tēnei kia koe parakāwhia. Te tiamana o te whakakitenga, ana i hui mātou ina nai nei, ngā marae maho Waikato Tainui, kia ko hoki e Brad, te tiamana o te ngā marae tōpu, e Ruku, te tiamana o te Arataura, me bāna hoki te tiamana o tō tātou wharewānanga tū mai nei runga nei, wharewānanga o Waikato Tainui, me tāna henare hoki o TGH. Nā kai konei ngā kai kōrero mo tō tātou hui i tēnei rā, ono kāra nui ngā mi, ono whakatau ni a koutou, nō reira tēnā koutou, a tēnā tātou katoa. Whakawhetai e ue, mō manakitanga ki te iwi. Tira tēnei a Donna, te tumu whakarai o Waikato Tainui, o tira kia tātou katoa, tōrero tēnā koutou, a tēnā tātou katoa.
Tēnā tātou katoa tuatahi e taku pāpa, nei rā te mihi atu ki a koe mō tō whakatau i a mātou tēnei wā. Tēnā hoki koutou e te iwi, e taku iwi, rauranga tira mā huri no te whare, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Ko pirongi a te maunga, ko Waipāti awa, ko Ngāti Mahanga te hapu. Ko ngā marae, ko te paparo tū, o Mairo me te kaharo. Nō reira, ko Parikawhi McLean tōku ingoa, tēnā koutou. Well, we had a very packed house this morning, and it was lovely to see everyone there. And again, it's a real honour to see you all here today as our iwi. I'm particularly feel privileged on behalf of the entity of our chairs here of Waikato Tainui to be leading out the presentation of the annual results. And I want to make it quite clear, it's for the previous year, the 1st of April 2017, 31 March 2018. I'll repeat again that I did say this morning, while our focus of the kaupapa for this session is on our annual results, I know that there may well be other issues that may arise when we get to the open forum. But the format will be that each of us will present our reports to you all, and then after that will be the opportunity to ask questions, to make comments, give feedback. I also want to just let you all know that now we're very in keeping with accountability and transparency. For the first time, our hui a iwi is being live streamed. And that allows our whānau who clearly cannot be here with us, who continue to have a very strong interest as to how we are all performing. They get the opportunity to see that online and through social media. And I'm really delighted that that is happening. Each year we look forward to sharing our results to those who matter the most. A kingi tuheitia, our governors, our kaimahi, our iwi, and our many partners and stakeholders that we do business with. This year is no different. On Friday, we spent some time with Kingi Tuheitia, where we also, quite rightly, he received the first copy, hot off the press, of our annual report. After that, we were at the college, where we spent some time with our kaimahi. Yesterday, we completed our annual general meeting, which we are required to with Te Whakakitenga, our tribal parliament and our governors, and obviously here today, and then next Tuesday, an event with our many partners and stakeholders in Hamilton. So it certainly is a very busy time for many of us, but it is absolutely critical and in keeping with our wanting to be transparent and reporting against the results. I'm going to now pass over to Brad Totarewa, who is the chair of Ngā Marae Tōpū, and I'll come back a little bit later after him as the chair of Te Whakakitenga o Waikato.
Kia ora tātou I tēnei rā. Tātou e poha nei tō tātou whare, o tira koutou mātaki mai nā tawhiti. I o koutou kāinga, I o koutou waka, I wherānei, tēnā tātou. Prei totorewa taku ingoa, tō roto mai o rangiriri, Māori a te marae, Ngātina ho te hapu. Kau te tiamana o Ngā Marae Tōpū. And just in reflecting on this morning's session, I kind of quickly realised that maybe my role is to raise the awareness of Ngā Marae Tōpū and their existence, and hopefully that in time, as an iwi and as a collective body, we're able to clearly identify its true position within the infrastructure of our tribe. As a mihi ana kia koutou katoa, kei Ngā Marae maha, ko koutou kia Ngā Marae Tōpū, nei ka mihi aki ana. Ngā Marae Tōpū is vastly misunderstood, and I think, like I said previously, by speaking about it here in these forums, on our paukai, and any other opportunity I get, will then give you more understanding as we move collectively forward. Ngā Marae Tōpū is close to the heart of our king. I'm going to share with you, while this is about our annual report, I'm going to step outside the time zone and take you on a little trip to the 1970s, just briefly. So on the 5th of November 1976, a large gathering convened on Tūranga Waiwai Marae, led by our Queen Tātai Rangikau. Their role was to decide the formation of a confederation of marae, derived from sub-tribes of Tainui people, and soon became an integral part of Tainui waka. So integral was Ngā Marae Tōpū that they were the co-signatories of our Raupatu claim. When you look at all of the co-signatories of the time, who's the king. E ngā marae tōpū that remain today in its original form. I've had the opportunity to work with my fellow chairmen here, our chairs here, and I want to take the opportunity to recognise and acknowledge them all. E nā kona ko whai wāhi ai, ngā marae tōpū roto I tēnei rā. This is a historical day for ngā marae tōpū, given that this is the first time that we've ever featured in an annual report, and the first time we're able to address our iwi in this forum. So I think that's great. It's a way moving forward, so that deserves a paki, don't you think? We've got to look in the rear vision mirror sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes. And today is about that. It's about that. You see, when we discuss the theme that would underpin the annual report, the tongikuro aphorism of King Tāwhao was chosen. Māku anō tōku nei whare ei hanga, ko ngā paupau o roto, he māhua he patete, ko te tāhuhu he hinau. Me whakatupu ki te hua o te renga, me whakapakari ki te hua o te kawariki. And Bana would say, Tāwhao didn't say, me whakatupu ki te hua o te cabbage, me whakapakari ki te hua o te bok choy. Those are the famous words of Bana Eremia. But he selected the ringaringa and the kawariki. And the kawariki is the part that was given to us to form my report today. Or the kawa ariki. To which I deem that's the role and responsibility. Ngā marae tōpū is to protect the king and to be the guardians of the tikanga relative to kingitanga. And here they are. This is ngā marae tōpū. The people that hop on buses 29 times a year, sit in the cold and the rain, the wet, the muddy ground for 4 to 5 hours straight. Who scrounge around in their own kete to find money to give as a koha and to figure out how they would use their $60 of disposable income a week to support every hui our king goes to. This is our kaumātua. This is ngā marae tōpū. This is ngā marae tōpū. You see, in 1976, our tupuna and Pakeke gathered in front of Te Arikinui. They swore allegiance to her. I want to read you a part of the minutes. It says the chair then enlarged on allegiances to unify our people under Te Arikinui. Te whakakotaitanga tō tātou ki ngā kaupapa o tō tātou Arikinui. E tuku mana marae, e tuku mana tangata, e tuku mana whenua, I raro o te kinitanga. And that hasn't changed. It hasn't changed at all. What they did there in 1976 still applies today. And so the following are the marae that swore allegiance that day. I'm going to read them out to you. O te wā, papaorotu, hia kai tūpeka, Tainui āwhiro, pōhara, o Wairaka, Aotearoa, Taniwha, Parawera, hui te rangiora, o Kapu, Waipapa, Maketu, Waikare, Rākau nui, o Rākei, Mangakare tū, mō tako, te ākau, Pikitu, Mangatangi, Taharoa, te Kōraha, Waiti, te Awa Mārahi, Whātāpaka, Kahotea, o haki, haurua, ngā tai e rua, mō kai kainga, o rairoa, aramiro, kai a te mata, rere ahu, ruku moana, Ngāti Haunui, te kōpua, waharoa, o tara, haona kaha, mātua a iwi, matahuru, hukanui, tauhei, maurea, tauwhare, paipai o raukawa. Maunga tautari i roto o pōneke. Manu rewa, ōrini, rere te whioi, Ngāti Mania Poto, te māhoe, Waikato, i roto o Rotorua. Put your hands up if your marae wasn't read out. Maybe on another set of minutes. You see, ngā marae tōpu grew to about approximately 120 marae. And to recognise and acknowledge ngā marae tōpu within the current infrastructure means that we need to elevate ourselves to a macro level and look at it as tainui waka. And for some people, it's hard to comprehend that. And some people, in some instances, it's difficult for people to do that because we're locked in here, Waikato Tainui. But like I said, that this is close to the King's heart. And if you've been around the Pokai in the last couple of years, you'll hear him say, when he's standing by himself, arguing a point, ko ngā marae tōpu tōku tuara. I mentioned earlier on this morning that that narrative needs to change and it needs to be ko taku iwi, taku tuara. And I think we can achieve that. We can achieve that before 2025. 7 years. Mā te whakakotai a tātou. If I can take this opportunity to recognise Donna and her team who've been working with us at some of our wānanga, funding our kaumātua retreat, because they need it. You know, you just need to look at their picture and see how hard they work. Don't underestimate the contributions of consequence that ngā marae tōpu provides for this iwi, because it's massive. Mei kore ake a ngā marae tōpu, o runga a ngā tātou marae, ka pēwhia tātou. We've tried our best to align ourselves to the tūtoinga of our King, to the Whakatupuranga 2050, and to ngā tohu. And some of the work that we're able to do, I'll just over. Now, ngā marae tōpu is, we run wānanga, tribal wānanga, we run tikanga wānanga, we have general meetings, about 6 of them a year, we have pūkōrero wānanga, we have executive hui, we attend every single Pokai, not just our own Pokai, but every single Pokai. And we have fortnightly pai Māori there. You see, if our role is to protect the King, when he got sick 2 years ago, it was us, ngā marae tōpu, a small group of us, that gathered together and said to him, it's wrong, kai te he tēnei mahi, that ka māwiwi koe ka teika huri atu te iwi, kia koe ka karakia. Kao. Ka māwiwi koe ka ora koe me karakia tātou. And so fortnightly, for the last 2 years, a group of us, every other Thursday, are here at our church here, just across the way, and we karakia. That's the contribution that we make to our iwi. Ka ora te King, ko ora tātou. Ne? Just to kind of conclude, we do have a budget, and that's where we spend all our money, our $30,000 that we get a year. Ari te mea kai te pate au mo e te atu moni, engari ai kai te pate au mo e te atu. A te wā. And maybe we need a more equitable distribution process that recognises our contributions to raise our $30,000. And you know what? We have no staff. We don't get honorariums. We don't get reimbursements. But we rely on the aroha e ringa raupa. Me mea ka kia e tangata kini tanga koe a tiru whakaturia mai o ringa. And so we're here. We're here to support our kaumātua. They are important. We're losing them daily. We're losing them daily. And just like they mentioned in Te Whakakitenga yesterday, that the storyline to tautoko and nawhia kaumātua needs to change. They've got the message loud and clear. And today, I'm just here to kind of reinforce that, is that we as an iwi, all us young ones, we're going to be the kraua and koroheke and ruruhi soon. Some of you are very close to that. And one day we'll be sitting over there with no kare e niho, kai te poto ana, me pikia ke te pūtea ki a mātou. Tēnei rā, e tautoko ana ngaku koroheke ruruhi. If I can, Ngā Marae Tōpū survived on an affiliation fee of $2 a delegate, or $4 a marae. And back in 1976, they had something like $263 in their bank. Well, we have a bank account now. We've got $6,300 in it. And we went outside of our tribe to seek external pūtea to allow us to run our wānanga. And I want to recognise te mātāwai. Te mātāwai tēnā koutou. I whakai mai ki tō mātou tono pūtea nei, kia piki te ora, kia piki te māramatanga, o mātou pakeke, koroheke ruruhi, tēnā koutou. Kia mutua i konei. Ko tātou ke te tuarau tō tātou kini. Kia kaha tātou. Mā te whakakotai ia tātou i ngā wā katoa. E ora ai te kini. E ora ai tātou. Anei, ko te kōrero o Ngā Marae Tōpū e pēnei nā. Ka noho te kini ki whea. Ka noho te kini ki runga i te iwi. Ka noho te iwi ki whea. Ka noho i runga i Ngā Marae. We will remain a pivotal stakeholder within the tribal infrastructure, and we look forward to working with all other Waikato Tainui tribal entities to galvanise our unwavering support to our king. Tu hei te apōta tau te whero te tuawhitu. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Tēnā koe, Brad. Thank you for that. Now we're going to get on to the presentation formally of our annual results, and you will find, if you have a copy of the annual report in front of you, you will find my chairman's report, if you refer to page 5 to 7, and you'll find it there. So as I reflect on our year, it's broadly been one of change, consolidation and planning ahead. Change in particular has come at a governance level with our triennial elections last September. That resulted in 61 new members coming into our whare out of a total of 129 representatives. It also resulted in a very sharp lift in diversity. Of that 129, 72 are women. I am particularly proud of the number of women in senior leadership roles in the iwi, with Tipa Mahuta, Rukumoana Schaffhausen, Patience Te-Ao, Linda Te-Aho, Hinarangi Raumati, Karen Wilson, Jackie Collier, Tanya Simpson, and many others. I am on the public record that we were elected because of our capability, our experience, and a track record of putting our people first, or putting our people at the front and centre of our thinking, planning and delivery. As this country celebrates 125 years of women's suffrage this year, the first to give women the vote, we in Waikato Tainui are certainly contributing and more than leading the way as we have in the past. However, that is not to say that we don't have capable men, because we do. And last year that was reinforced with the election of Rāhui Papa as our tribal negotiator in November. Rāhui brings a wealth of experience, tribal expertise and knowledge to this role. I have to congratulate, however, our 68 marae, because ultimately they determined the leadership mix by placing their trust and confidence in us to advance the interests of the iwi. They certainly keep us on our toes and tell us directly if we are not performing to their expectations, as do you all. Given the size and breadth of Waikato Tainui, cohesive and collaborative leadership driving change is essential. That is why, alongside my fellow chairs here, we are motivated to achieving this goal collectively in the interests of our people. Like any organisation, it is important that we continue to refine our strategy and priorities going forward. This process has already started with workshops aimed at shaping our next 5-year plan. I look forward to reporting the outcomes of this exercise next year. During the financial year 2018, the governance review initiated in 2014 was completed with a management review of the Waikato Raupatu Lands Trust and the Waikato Raupatu River Trust. These comprehensive reviews need to be done regularly to ensure, as an organisation, we are positioning ourselves for success, continue to remain relevant, and are committed to ongoing improvements to our capability. Ultimately, that is how our whare will remain strong and endure for our future generations, including those who are with us, our tamariki here this afternoon. There are many people involved with realising the dreams of our iwi. I acknowledge my predecessor, Maxine Moana Tūwhāngai, who chaired Te Whakakitenga for the first 6 months of this period. Rāhui Papa, who from 2013 led Te Aratora until his retirement last year, and was replaced by Ruku Moana. Sir Henry Vanderheyden, who was recently reappointed for another term as the chair of TGH. John Hedemere, our chair of the college. Peter Rogers, Ururangi. Brad, and also our chief executives, Donna Flavel, Chris Joblin, and Dr. Cheryl Stevens. And also our staff, who worked tirelessly to bring to life the vision Tāwhiao had for us to determine our own destiny. But much of what we do is in partnership with others. Therefore, I recognise the many stakeholders who have joined us on our journey of opportunity and success. Last but not least, I recognise you all here today, our iwi members across Waikato Tainui. You are the inspiration for all of us in leadership roles to do the very best on your behalf. In closing, we have a video to showcase the investment we make in our rangatahi as we prepare them for a prosperous future. Seeing the world through their eyes is a reminder to us that the landscape is forever changing. Following this, Ruku Moana will present the Te Aratora report. I thank you all again for your ongoing support to fulfil the aspirations of Waikato Tainui.
Kia ora, my name is Anne Wendini. I'm from Waipapa Marae. I think Waikato Tainui is pretty awesome. I've got this cool air job to show you guys around our place and some of the things we've been doing. So come on, let's go. This is Tupiri Maunga, or Hita Tupuna Lai. And this is Waikato Awa. Did you know on every bend of the awa there's a taniwha? Over there, that's Turanga Waiwai Marae. It's awesome there. Every year, they have the Koroneihana for our king. Then, the regatta. That's my favourite, especially the Wakatoa. Whoa! This is our college. It's flash as. It's where all the brainy people go.
So I was part of the summer internship cohort here at the college. My mahi was researching claims with the Waikato Tainui River Trust. So the internship was an opportunity for me to get a better understanding of the tribal organisation. I was able to meet a lot of our tribal kaimahi and get to know the mahi that they were doing on the ground. Then I was offered full-time employment at the college. So working for our iwi, it's rewarding, but it's also challenging knowing that what we do in our mahi, in our everyday mahi, is that it's benefiting our marae, our whānau, and our future generations.
We love our reo. We have courses for everyone to learn, and it doesn't even matter how old you are.
So originally a friend of mine took the course and he came back and he was telling me all the stories of all the cool stuff he learnt, and I personally was pretty interested in that, specifically because it was all kōrero about Waikato itself rather than some other iwi. And, you know, it's always nice hearing about places like that you're from and stuff like that. And it's the easiest way to understand how everything works i tō tātou nei ao. Because like if you're learning Māori, you're not just learning the reo, you end up learning a bit of the history and a bit of the tikanga and a bit of this and that along the way, so it just helps tie everything together, I think. But also a little bit, I guess, because on the marae, there's all that hononga whānau and all that sort of ka tuituia i ngā whakapapa, reo momo āhuatanga. You know, that it would make that a lot easier, just to find the common ground, make things run a little bit more smoother. So it's nice to learn a lot about where I come from, who I am, and all those stories. Yeah. Kia ora.
All the pakeke I know, they're always talking about how we need more jobs. I don't know anything about that, but I know this fella over here who's learning to be a builder.
Been an apprentice since the start of the year. Tainui helped me get into an apprenticeship. Getting this apprenticeship means I can build a bright future for myself. Being passionate about something that I'm doing, obviously the mahi and building, stuff like that. Being hands-on, being active, being outdoors, you know, things changing all the time keeps me interested and wanting to come to work.
The future's limitless. You can go wherever you want. You can take this all over the world. You can set up your family. That's a big thing for me. You can set up my my young fella for if he likes to pursue a career in building.
Did you know we had 68 marae spread all over our rohe? My koro says they are special because they are like the heartbeat of our iwi. But I just like playing there.
This marae's my home. I can never stray too far from it. And it means more to me than anything. It's where my whānau are, it's where my memories are, and this is my home. Got a bit of funding from the tribe, which has helped us finish off our papakainga. It's been a long time since we had a whare. There's a place where we can call home. There's a place where we can come back to seek peacefulness, that we can relax and, you know, we don't have to have the world on our shoulders.
Apparently, we need putia to pay for all the stuff we do. And apparently, this place is going to be a game changer for our iwi. I don't really know what that means. I can't see anyone playing in their games, but maybe when I grow up, I can get a job here.
Ruakura, a project of national significance, has been master planned with the future in mind. It will bring economic, social and environmental benefits to Hamilton, Waikato and New Zealand for many generations to come.
This is where our new hotel is going, right there. It's named after our queen, Te Arakinui. My koro says King Tawhia, he used to be alive a long time ago. Anyway, he wanted us to be a smart iwi and build our own whare so we could look after our people and help them. And koro says the future of our iwi is me. Another mokopuna like me. That's pretty cool, eh?
Mai te pakipaki. Tēnā tātou. kia whai karoria ki te atua, kia whakahonorea ki ngi tū heitia pai mārire e te iwi tēnā koutou katoa. That video clip is always a hard act to follow, but I think what it demonstrates is a beautiful overview of the mahi that is being done for our marae and for our whānau. So I want to acknowledge all of you who have helped shape the last 12 months, and that includes our, in particular, our staff that work hard on all of our behalf. There are other key messages from that video clip for me. One of them is around the teachings of Kingi Tāwhiao, who taught us that from humility springs hope, strength and prosperity. His words are the story of Waikato Tainui, and his teachings give us an enduring lens from which to view the world. The video, through the eyes of Aaron Wetere, our boy from Waipapa Marae, give us a promise of the future and what that future could look like, which is based on our boy Aaron, is going to be an incredible one. It also gives me a strong sense of responsibility. And I know that is something that your governors, both at te whakakitenga level and the boards that represent you, we take that responsibility and the challenge seriously, because we know that we have a role to play in setting a foundation that will give our tamariki choices that will prepare them for a bright future. So the purpose of today is to, as Parikawhia has outlined, is to hear about the achievements over the past 12 months. I'll be presenting some key highlights on achievements carried out by the Waikato Raupati Lands Trust and the Waikato River Trust. And I'll start with acknowledging the work of Tainui Group Holdings. As you look through the annual report, you'll see a strong, effective organisation that is well led and delivering on its goals. The TGH results, together with returns on tribal assets, has resulted in a net profit of 106 million. Our total tribal assets have grown to 1.37 billion, which is an increase of 125 million on last year's results. We successfully challenged the relativity payment of 200 million in the last period, and the Crown conceded a further 16.8 million. Over that period, TGH also paid a dividend of 17.5 million, and Henry and his board, I've included others now, have undertaken to increase that dividend to 30 million over a 3 to 5 year period. And it is doable. It's as we unlock the opportunities, particularly in some of our tribal assets like Ruakura, there's no reason why we can't deliver dividends of that scale. And we need to, because it's through continued strong performance that we'll be able to meet the expectations of Whakatupuranga 2050. And it will allow us, what it will allow us to do is invest in the lives of our 76,000 people. In the year to March, our strong financial performance has allowed us to distribute almost $22 million across a range of priority areas. And these priority areas were largely determined by te whakakitenga when they approved their annual plan. Some of those distributions are as follows. We paid dividends, and the graph here gives you a snapshot of the key distribution areas. So we paid dividends of 8 million to marae. 12 marae undertook our asset maintenance program, such as Matahuru, as you saw in the video clip. 15 of our marae completed fire safety training. We made significant progress with our marae insurance program, with 68 valuations being carried out. We also helped 20 new business ventures get started, and 150 tribal members have registered for ongoing business support. I think that's important to encourage that entrepreneurial spirit that is in the DNA of our people. Our Te Reo Māori programs, Ukaipo, Te Reo Kākaho, Te Reo Aratau and Te Reo Kapuia, they were well supported by our people over the past 12 months. In housing, 900 tribal members attended our home ownership workshops, and we had 135 whānau who were assisted into home ownership. I was really heartened in that you'll see in the annual report, one of the whānau took time to express their appreciation for the work that our teams had done. And I think it encapsulates really what this board and what our team are wanting to achieve. The whānau members said, "Words cannot express how grateful our family are. Our tamariki and future generations will always have somewhere to call home." Now, we acknowledge we have 76,000 tribal members. Many of them don't own their own homes, but that is a challenge and an opportunity for us as we move forward into the next period. $600,000 was allocated to kaumātua grants, and we also provide travel grants to kaumātua. Our team are, again, we've provided a lot of great service, and there's more we can do. So we are working with the kaumātua through our hauora workshops to understand how better we can do that going forward. In education, we have established kawenata with 26 schools and 4 tertiary institutions. Certainly, this picture here, this was a highlight of, one of my highlights of last year was being able to be a part of this celebration where we acknowledged our students who are part of the kawenata program. In the last year, we also helped 158 tribal members into employment and apprenticeships. Those opportunities are across a range of industries: digital media, accounting, building and construction, roofing, and electrical engineering. And to support that, the tribe also provide coaching and mentoring support. In January this year, we signed historic agreements with 11 industry training organisations to encourage our people to earn while engaged in apprenticeships. And the take-up on that has been great, but it's been, the private sector understand that when they partner with iwi, then they too can be a part of improving the lives of our whānau. Our extended driver licensing program, Kia Haere tū, was extended, which has opened other career pathways for our whānau through accessible licensing and endorsement courses. In the environmental space, relationships and environmental initiatives have been successfully established. Things like the fencing and planting restoration projects at Lake Waikare and Lake Whangape. And of particular note is the ongoing work and investment into addressing the stabilisation and capacity issues at the Urupa for Taupiri. Those are just some of the highlights of the mahi that your team have been doing on your behalf over the last 12 months, but further detail can be found in your annual report from pages 26 to 32. As I said, this is your opportunity to ask me any questions at the end of this. The last session was very good discussion, very robust debate, and so I look forward to the same from you in this session. Before we get there, though, I do want to acknowledge my predecessor, Rahui Papa, for his leadership and guidance of Te Ara Taura for most of the period that we're reporting on. I also want to mihi to my Te Ara Taura board members and the executive team led by Donna Flavel, which has really worked hard to create a high-performance culture that delivers for our tribal members. How we deliver against the vision will vary and change year on year, but what we have demonstrated over the last 12 months is an ability and agility to adapt, particularly given some of the governance changes that Pare spoke to earlier. In recent months, Te Ara Taura and Te Whakakitinga have been developing a 5-year plan to deliver a more prosperous future for our people and our rohe. And I encourage you, if you haven't had input either through your marae, it's important that you make contact with the office. We want to hear what your aspirations are in our key priority areas going forward, particularly over the next 5 years. Because it's from that planning that we will be able to create more affordable homes. As I said, we've had 100 odd whānau being assisted into homes. We want to increase that number. We want good paying jobs, not this minimum wage thing, where we are invested in you to be the best you can be. And so we want to support you on that journey, and we want a stronger and more prosperous tribe. So we need to work with you to plan out the next 5 years, and we look forward to doing that. In the meantime, I look forward to hearing receiving your questions at the conclusion of these presentations. Kia ora koutou.
Tēnā koe, Ruku. What? Stick to the script again? Jeez. Kia ora tātou te whare. Good to see quite a number of people in that who I've known over the years have been heavily involved in education and scholarly study. Nā tino mihi ki a koutou. This part of the reporting session relates to your college for research and development. Nō reira ka mihi ki a tātou katoa te whare. The college is one of those investments in the future, and but we are required to deliver annual outputs. Okay. We will, in the annual report on page 19 to 21 is the college's report. I am aware that there are some, maybe some new, I recognise some very old faces and that around the place, who may be new to these presentations. So by way of informing you in relation to your college. Oh, by the way, I'll just touch just a little bit. Your tribe has always embraced mātauranga. It just didn't come over with Captain Cook or in 1964 when the University of Waikato was established. Your tribe established its first wānanga when the Tainui canoe arrived at Makitu. And when you visit the college, as you come up the drive, you will see all of the other higher whare wānanga, higher places of learning. So this tribe has always embraced knowledge. It's not a new thing. When the Tainui Trust Board was established in 1946, one of the first things that it did was it took a little piece of the annuity out and they invested it into education. Probably supported somebody with a pair of socks or a handkerchief, but they wanted to invest in it. When Waikato University was established, this tribe also contributed the Tainui Trust Board a little bit from out of its meagre funds at that time into education. And its contribution helped to fund the halls of residence at Waikato University. Long investment, e hoama. But this college is your direct and personal investment. It's not a university. It doesn't receive any funding from the Crown or from TEC. It is not a wānanga, as in the shape of a politic. This is Waikato Tainui's College for Research and Development. It's your college. And we are determined at the college that its business and its activities should accurately, with integrity and authenticity, reflect your views on knowledge and the future. That is the purpose and the responsibility of your college trustees and its management staff. The college was established in 2000. And for your information, it's actually a memorial to the Raupatu settlement. It's a memorial to the Raupatu settlement. It went into hiatus of some sort after the death of Sir Robert. It reinvented itself in various forms, but it was rededicated as a college for research and development in 2010. So we are currently in our 10th year of operation. It is actually quite a momentous time for us, because 10 years in 2008, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, after the dedication of the college, Waikato Tainui achieved its river settlement in 2008, in 2008. So the college is looking at how it should recognise that achievement this year. Anyway, kia hara mai ki tā tātou kāreti. For the new ones, the college draws on 3 inspirational tribal leaders. This is old information for a number of you, to guide our research and development focus. Te kura o Te Ariki Nui Te Atarani Kahu guides our focus on tribal knowledge, culture and heritage. Te kura o Te Puea Herangi guides our focus on leadership and entrepreneurship. And Te kura o Tā Te Kotahi Mahuta guides our focus on research and development, leadership also. Research and development. Now, they are guardians of the college's work programs because they exemplify the courage, innovation, and leadership required to realise māku noi hanga tōku nei whare. They are our own exemplars of tribal excellence. Now, throughout this reporting period, the trustees and management conducted a range of governance and operations review to maintain alignment with the recently completed governance review and the redesign of Whakatupuranga 2050 and the associated signposts. The appointment of Dr. Cheryl Stevens in February as the new college director and CEO provided a timely and strategic opportunity to further develop the role of the college to lead and deliver the tribe's action research agenda, to develop relevant leadership programs, secure collaboration with other international Indigenous communities for mutual learning and development, and to access external education and research funding. I keep on saying this, but I also still feel it every time I say it. It is with sadness and regret that I reflect upon the passing of Koro Wetere, as one of Cheryl's key tasks is to extend the MBA program that we currently offer to a PhD and professional postdoctorate program to be operational by 2019. It was one of Koro's constant reminders of the trust to put in place. Arohana kāri ko nei ki te kite I te whakatutuki tana o tana moe moea. Now, in the reporting period, the college completed a number of research projects focused on the environment, health and well-being of people, tauna tuku iho and mātauranga Māori, and Indigenous knowledge and development. Many of the research projects were in collaboration with marae, with the aim of growing the ranatahi researchers from those marae. 6 of the research project titles are submitted in the annual report that you may have in front of you. 3 other research projects were unable to be completed within the reporting period. Research projects on the impact of climate change on water allocation and modelling within the Waikato River catchment, the claims and settlements review, and also the publication of a governance and leadership case study e-book. I've been reassured by the college staff that these will be completed before the whakakitena September hui. The college provided a suite of leadership development programs through Te Kura o Te Puea Herani over the reporting period also. 14 participants in the MBA program will graduate in November this year. This will take the total of successful graduates from this program to 45. The college is extremely proud of the achievements of the graduates of this program. However, as shared with the House numerous times, this program is under review due to a number of frustrations I have already shared with you. This program in its current form will not be available at the college next year. We're looking at other options. The Tārerea Tāwhaki program continued to provide a platform for tribal postgraduates to share their accumulated knowledge with tribal beneficiaries. 25 tertiary students participated in the internship program. Our thanks to the other tribal entities for sponsoring this program. 43 people from 32 marae participated in the Whakatupu Marae program, and 19 whakakitena members and 5 Ngaitahu members undertook the Takitu Governance and Sustainability program. While it was mahi tonu at the college throughout this period, as shared earlier, the college was also reviewing its current operations and deliverables. It's been 7 years since the college was rededicated, and much has happened to better inform the trustees and college management how best to position the college and its programs to reflect its purpose. Better understanding around its direct accountability to the House and to you, as per the Raupatu settlement, its fiduciary responsibilities for the River Settlement Endowment, and I can assure you that we've completed our audit and we received an unqualified audit report. Quality assurances around the college academic and research programs, those were all under review. And our past 7 years of operation has given us a sense of what is working well and what needs to be changed or what needs to be brought in. Based on that, I am pleased to announce several major initiatives planned to occur over the year and next year as a consequence of the review process. This is just some of the changes and that's happening within the college. The first is the establishment of a water institute to umbrella all of the college's water and land research and academic programs. Now, I am aware that this will be in direct challenge to a number of other water institutes that's being considered for establishment. Good on them. Waikato Tainui is going to have their own anyway. Second one is to offer a PhD and professional postgraduate program through the college by 2019. Cheryl will be canvassing the tribe, and we are seeking between 10 and 20 possible students, applicants for the doctoral program. And third, to support the engagement of our own people in the operation of the inland port as soon as Sir Henry has finished building it. We will be entering into a partnership with Auckland University School of Engineering, and the focus of the programs and that to be operated and delivered on both sites will be engineering, electronics and robotics, as these align to the development of the inland port at Ruakura. There will also be available some sponsored internships for our people to be part of that program. In closing, just like to acknowledge the support the college has received through the services of its trustees. In particular, I'd just like to recognise once again the work that Shane has carried out on behalf of our college, not only as a trustee, but also as an active senior researcher with some of our programs. Nā tino mihi ki a koe, Shane. We were graced this morning for the earlier period by Nanaia, and we do understand the enormous challenges that she has with her time as a minister, so we greatly appreciated the time that she spent with us to support this report as one of the trustees of the college. The other one I want to recognise is Tari Nichols, who provides us with our financial advice and guidance. Kate Turner, who provides us with our legal advice, along with Shane, and also to Tahi, who is the representative of Te Ara Taura on our board, which allows us a direct line of communication with Te Ara Taura, which we really appreciate. Nō reira kia koutou e te whānau, koina te ripoata te ato koutou kāreti, and receive any questions after. Kia ora koutou.
Tēnā koutou katoa. Warm welcome to everybody here today. If we get, we're going to do this as a tag team, so if Pierre and Richard come down, so I'm just going to make the opening remarks as we report to our 2017-18 financial statements. But before we go into that, what I'd like to do is put an apology in for Chris Joblin. Chris is our CEO. Chris had one of his very, very close aunties pass away on Wednesday morning, and the family, the whānau, buried her yesterday, so he's not with us this weekend. But I can assure you, in TGH, we've got, I want to say, very good succession and very good people, so somebody always steps up. So Pierre and Richard will also stand in front of you. Before we get into the numbers, the putia, I just still want to acknowledge the passing away of two of our people. Firstly, Koro Weteri. Koro was one of the founding directors of TGH some 15 to 16 years ago, and Koro has left a huge imprint on the country, on the region, on the iwi, and also on TGH. My predecessor, chair of TGH, the first chair of TGH, John Spencer, I know Koro was a huge person in John's life when John took on the role of chairman of TGH, just for his wisdom, for his knowledge, and for his time. John, in passing the baton over to me when I took over the chair's role some 6 years ago, he only said to me, "Henry, there's only one thing you need to know. Get very close to Koro Weteri. You will need him." So I got to know Koro reasonably well at the start of my role as chairman of TGH. He helped navigate me through the complexities of iwi, tainui, etc. So I owe Koro a lot. On a more personal note, we also had the shock passing away death of one of our farm cadets, Peter Haimona, on New Year's Day this year. Now, it was really sad what happened there, and our hearts, our feelings and our sorrow goes out to his whānau. I do want to acknowledge the 6 chairs. It's a concept that I'm hugely supportive of. And you're probably wondering, today there's only 5 chairs, but everyone talks about 6 chairs, but I can assure you this time next year there will be 6 chairs in front of you. So as somebody that looks after the long-term investment for the iwi, I can assure you I can count. Okay. Just talking about the 6 chairs and how important it is. There's nothing under the Constitution that says that we need to work together, but I think for us to move forward in something what we all share in, is by working much closer together, mahi tahi, and with unity. Singly, we're vulnerable, but together we're unstoppable. And the commitment that we have towards each other and the outcomes for our people, I think we can actually achieve significantly more than what we have achieved, and I'm certain going forward we're going to achieve significantly more. And Roku touched on it. TGH were actually committed to increasing the dividend, but this can only happen if we all work together for our people. And I just really want to touch on the people of TGH, and it's with real pride I actually say this, and Paddy touched on it with the new people in the whare here around diversity, and it's with real pride. It's probably one of the first boards in the country where we have got a gender balance of 3 wahine and 3 tane. And I say that with real pride, with Hinarangi, Linda and Tania, and of course us men, myself, Mike and Matthew. And Paddy, I'm still pleased you see a place for us blokes, so it's good to see. Also, I do want to acknowledge the people of TGH, our staff, our management, our CEO. Everyone talks about TGH. We talk about large numbers, and they are large numbers, but there's actually only 45 of us, so there's not that many of us. But without the people, without the commitment and the energy and the passion they show, we would not be able to deliver what we're actually delivering right now. So what I'd like to do, I'm going to hand over to Richard. So this was Richard's first presentation. This morning we had Lyndon, so that's what I mean by a tag team. So anyone can step up to the mark. So Richard, the podium's yours.
Thanks, Henry. Tēnā koutou katoa, he whakanori te atua, no reira he mihi hoki kia kingi tūheitia, te pauherenga waka, te pauherenga tangata, me te kahuiari ki nui tonu paimariri. Tēnā koe mātua pokaia mō te karakia timatanga, e ngā kaiwhakahaere o Waikato Tainui, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko maunga tautiri te maunga, ko Waikato te awa, hiuri hau no Tainui. Ki te tautoku papa ko Ngāti Raukawa te iwi, ki te tautoku mama ko Ngāti Koreki Kahukura te iwi, ko Richard Jeffries ingoa, toku ingoa. Ko te Pākake mā, matatahi mā, tamariki mā, tēnā koutou, ngā mihi kia koutou katoa. Look, it's my absolute pleasure to be presenting this part of the report to you on behalf of Chris, who, as Henry mentioned, can't be with us today due to the passing of his auntie Shirley, who he was very close to. But in terms of what we do in our role, our role is pretty clear, and we take our role very seriously. And that is to build the strength, the financial strength, and resilience of our asset base for this generation and the next, for generations that we can't contemplate or see. So for the past year, we've turned our efforts towards developing and growing the value of our existing asset base, but also planting the seed for future people, like people in my role or Pierre's or even Henry's, to harvest. So as we sort of reflect on what happened in FY18 or 2018, we are 4 months into the new financial year where we're continuing on the mahi that we left behind in 2018. But if we look back to our financial results, so a solid performing year, and what we mean by that is against our budget, we were ahead. If we look at the 2017 result, it certainly looks like a big step down. But if we look at 2017, a lot of that result came through from cyclical highs from property revaluations. So there was more of an asset value growth that we didn't quite anticipate. But also we realised a gain on sale for our 20% share, 20 of our 70% share in the Novotel Auckland Airport Hotel. And what we did with that 20% sale proceeds was reinvest that into our new hotel, Te Ariki Nui Pullman, which we're happy to say we're close to commencing. In the last financial year, 2018, we also increased our dividend by 10%. And this is just another step along a continuing trend of us giving our commitment to our people to grow the dividend. And Riku's given some views of other commitments we may or may not have made around dividend growth over the next 3 to 5 years. But it is absolutely possible, and it all comes down to choices at the end of the day that our iwi need to wrap our arms around and awhi. Along with our dividend, 17.5 million, that doesn't include the services in kind that we made to the Rivers and Lands Trust as part of what we do. So the year-end value of equity, so that's not our total assets, that's essentially net of debt, total assets net of debt was 691 million. And this is an uplift of just under 5%, so our balance sheet grew by just under 5% over the last 12 months to the financial year in 2018. Behind these solid numbers are some pretty consistent performing property assets and hotels as well. These have been consistent performers, in particular the hotels, as tourism in Aotearoa, in particular Auckland and Hamilton, has grown. As I mentioned, we are close to commencing the development of Te Ariki Nui Pullman. And with that, or before that, we will be appointing and announcing to Te Whakakitinga who the contractor partners will be to develop the hotel. Along, I guess, just staying with our hotel interests, we, as you may have heard, will be adding another 40 rooms to the Novotel Tainui in Hamilton. And we expect to commence that over the next couple of months. The last year, though, has not been without its challenges. And on the direct investment front, our stake in Waikato Milking Systems, you may have been familiar with the purchase some years ago. So the investment of that was written down in this last financial year, and that has been reflected in our results. There's been no change to our cash return. That is essentially just a write-down of the value of the asset. But as we look forward in Waikato Milking Systems, the underlying strength of the business and its strategy to pursue growth in the United States in particular remains strong. So we expect to come through that particular headwind unscathed. Lyndon, who was my other tag team partner this morning, runs our farming portfolio. And in that front, and in that sense, we're pleased to say that we've come through quite a significant period of reshaping how our farming assets perform. And that goes to the people that we employ. So if we reflect back even 3 to 4 years ago, we have none of our people working on our farms. Now we're pleased to say we have 50% of those employed on our farms are Waikato Tainui. And as we look to the future, our biggest focus at the moment is Ruakura. So when little Aaron talks about a game changer, Ruakura is a game changer in every sense of the word, not just for commercial and financial, from a commercial and financial perspective, but also those other touch points of Whakatūpuranga 2050. Which, at the end of the day, that's what TGH is here to do, is to advance us further towards achieving whakatūpuranga. The scale of the opportunity and its impact to New Zealand Inc. and Waikato Tainui Inc. is unprecedented. So this country and our iwi have never had to face into a project or deliver a project of this scale. And when we think about the scale of this project and the duration, this will take us a good 30 years to complete. So that image up there, that's 2048. That's what you're looking at. What it looks like now is farmland and a bit of dirt that we've had to move to create the inland port. So when we talk about Ruakura being an economic engine, it's not just an economic engine for Waikato Tainui. It has such an enormous impact to New Zealand and the wider region and the customers that it serves. We announced in the last year the appointment of Lynx Cargo Care, and they will be jointly a shareholder in the operation. So they won't own any land. They will simply be there like Accor does for our hotels. Lynx Cargo Care will be there to run an inland port terminal, and we're excited to have them on board to help us do that. Look, I'd just like to touch on the point that Matua Bana made around the collaboration with the University of Auckland. So when Aaron, when he's coming into looking for a job or looking for a career to pursue, it's those types of roles, those engineering roles, that we'll be looking to run the port. Because everyone these days typically thinks about a port which is, fork hoist, manual straddles, lots of people running and moving containers around the port. The reality is, a lot of that stuff is automated now. And the career pathways that we think about are not the forklift drivers or the straddle drivers, they're actually engineers, the programmers that make these things run. We were delighted to take members of the TGH board, a couple of members from Te Aratauta and our Te Whakakitenga chair to Sydney in early July, where we saw the extent of automation that is possible. And so on a footprint the size of Hopu Hopu, you have a port which is the size of Port of Auckland, all controlled by robots. And that technology is here today. So imagine what things are going to be like when Aaron reaches my age in 15 years. So as I mentioned, we could not match the highs of last year, and that largely is cyclical. But to achieve what we have achieved this year, that's only built on building a strong, capable and resilient team. And that particular kaupapa has been led by our CEO, Chris. Before we just move on to our next initiative, which Pierre will take us through on the engagement and Patakakai front, the last point I'd like to leave with you all is that projects like Ruakura, and as you will see over the coming years, the work that we're doing between Hamilton and Auckland, these sorts of projects can only be done by Waikato Tainui. We can be the only partners to New Zealand Inc. to unlock all of this value and create all this value for Waikato Tainui Inc. for New Zealand Inc. So there have been a few questions raised in the last hui around what we're facing into on the political front and some of the financial risk that we're trying to manage. So at the conclusion of this hui, if there's anyone that would like has any part on that front, please feel free to raise them. But I'll now pass it on to Pierre to take us through his presentation. Kia ora tātou.
Tēnā tātou. Tuatahi e rere tonu ngā mihi ki tō tātou ki ngi tuheitia. Kia koutou katoa te iwi kua taumai nei tēnei raki te whakarongo ki ngā kōrero, ngā mihi nui kia koutou kua whai wā tahara mai. Nō reira ngā paupau, ngā kaimahi, nei rā te mihi, ka houtou katoa, tēnei te mihi. Kia rātou, ko he atu ki te pō, moi mai rā koutou, moi mai rā koutou, moi mai rā koutou. Te maha hoki o ngā mate, kua hinga nei i runga i ngā marae, no rei rā, e tangi tonu i te ngākau, tangi tonu i te whati manoa mō rātou. Kia ora everyone, ko taupiri te maunga, ko Waikato te awa, ko te whiro te tangata, o ko Ngāti Mahuta tēnei, o Ngāti Whawhakia tēnei, e tūne ke mui o koutou. Ko tani whakawāhi, ko kai tumutumu ngā marae. No reira, ko pia tohe tōku ingoa, ko au titi o nā kaimahi o Tainui Group Holdings. My job today is just to share a little bit about what Tainui Group Holdings is doing in terms of not just growing the pūtea, that is our main focus. It is to grow the commercial wealth and assets of our tribe so that we can deliver, as a tribe, deliver for our people, for our marae, look after our whenua, look after our river. And we at Tainui Group Holdings understand that while that's our primary purpose, we also have been thinking about what else could we do and how do we leverage our relationships and our assets to help our people, our marae. And one of those initiatives which was launched last year was Pātaka Kai. And it's just a small initiative, and it's taking some of the produce off our farms that we manage on behalf of the tribe and giving them to our marae. And so last year there was mutton that was offered to all the marae. So far today we've had 43 of the 68 marae have taken up some of that mutton. I've had a bit of it on a few bit of the hui that I've been to. As you can tell, I was a bit skinnier last year. But don't worry, I don't like kutai. So the next thing that's coming up for Pātaka Kai is kutai. So we're actually going to add to it, we're going to grow to the offering for our marae. And again, this is leveraging some of the quota that we have, that we manage on behalf of our tribe. So each of our marae will just get 3 times 20 kg polybins of mussels to use at whatever hui they want to. And I'd encourage you, at your marae, as I said, only 43 of the 68 have actually taken it up so far. Now there's some kutai, maybe there's going to be a bit more. There was a request yesterday for lamb, crayfish, and pawa, I think. So who knows, that might come in the future. But so Pātaka Kai is just one of those initiatives that we want to give back to our marae. The next initiative is Pūrua. And so last year at this very hui a iwi, a request came from one of our whānau. Hey, look, they're looking for meeting rooms in the city. Meeting rooms in the city that they can utilise for their own businesses to have a meeting, or to marae to use, or for the community group to use. And we had some vacant spaces on Victoria Street that were very hard to find tenants for, commercial tenants for. So we thought, let's use one of those sites for our people to use. And so Pūrua was born, and we've had a number of hui there. We've had a number of meetings, staff hui. We've also had other community groups. Our business partners use it. And most recently, 2 weeks ago, we had a pop-up store, a matariki pop-up store where some of our tribal artists sold some of their craft and their taonga and displayed it. And so it was a really lovely use of the space, and probably wasn't what I was thinking of, but I thought it was an awesome use. So and that was free of charge for our whānau. And they did give a koha. They gave a koha, and we're going to probably hang some of that koha up in the space there. But Pūrua, there's the confluence of rivers, and for us it is the joining of different groups in this space. So that's Pūrua. And the last thing I just want to talk about today is what we call whakaariari rawa, which is just showing off the assets. It's just taking our people around to the various commercial assets that we operate on behalf of the tribe. And those include the Waikato milking system. So we would get a busload of our people, and we'd take them around Hamilton City. We'd show them the hotel, we'd show them Centre Place, the police building, the courts. All the land there is owned by the tribe. And then we went out to Waikato milking systems, and we went through, and the staff there took us through the operation there. Yes, there have been challenges, but they're good people there. And our people actually really loved that part of the tour. And so we would go through Waikato milking systems. We then went out to one of the farms, Hangawera, or Tainui Road farms, and we'd just have a bit of a kōrero around there on the farms, and then we would go out to Ruakura and show them the latest what's happening at Ruakura. And then we'd come back to the office, and then we'd open up the office and show them around the office. So we've had 3 tours to date, and we also have an open day where, again, we open the office, people can come through, have a look, see where we work, and we do a bit more detail, if you like, on those assets. And we've probably had almost 500 people go on the tours and come through on the open day. And I think what was really positive around that is that people just got a better understanding of what it is Tainui Group Holdings does on behalf of our tribe to grow the commercial wealth of our people. Anō reira, koira te pūrongo o Tainui Group Holdings, ngā mihi nui kia koutou.
That concludes the presentation of the 2018 annual results from our chairs and staff. So this is now your opportunity to ask us questions, make any comments. Can I first of all say, though, I know there are a couple of Te Whakakitenga members in the whare. Can you, if you do have any pātai, because we had our AGM yesterday, I would ask that you hold on to those and make sure, because I want to allow our iwi, our own people to, raise issues directly with us. So we'll have some mics, roaming mics. Put your hand up.
Kia ora koutou.
Tēnā koe.
Kia ora, kia ora. Kia ora koutou. Ko i te taho tōku whaia, ko no whatawhata ahau, ko Ngāti Mahanga tōku hapu, ko Ngāti Maniapoto tōku iwi. Engari, I just got a pātai about the Te Kupu Māori for the Māori business. You just presented it. That's available in town. Pūroa, aye. Because I've been able to, through my mahi, I've been able to access it for like one-off events and things like that due to the limited hours. One question that a number of us tribal members running our own businesses have been asking is will there ever be a co-working space for tribal members, and also will it be available during other hours, even for evening meetings, etc., because just 10 till 2 has been kind of limited for use. Pātai taku.
There have been uses outside of normal business hours, if we've had enough notice to be able to, because obviously it's just security, it's making sure someone's available to open it up when we can. We're actually co-working, was it working there like regularly all the time? I guess it just depends on the bookings. We wouldn't want it to, we want to try and share the use, and we do want it to be used as much as possible. If it's one-off, sort of once a week, every week for 40 weeks, probably not. Only because we're just trying to share it. If however it's empty, then we I don't see why not.
Oh, just with all the hui that I've been attending for Māori entrepreneurs, Māori entrepreneurs are booming here in the Waikato, even tribal members. So that's more why I'm asking.
Okay. But the woman who runs it is sitting right next to you. She tells me what to do. But but honestly, any suggestions, we're actually open to listening and hearing about the suggestions, because I'd rather have it being used, almost overused, than not being used enough. And, if it's used more and more and more, for those of you who have used Pūroa before, there's a vacant site right next to it. And if the use is so much that we need to expand, then we can expand. But we don't want to just expand and then not use it. It's sort of not a good use of our funds. So, but any suggestions, ka pai.
Kia ora, Adele, that's a really, really awesome question. And just on that, so we have been doing some work in the tribal side to look at actually what are the needs of our Māori entrepreneurs, and that has come up. We're actually undertaking some really good some really good surveys. We've got a research company that's looking into this. So hold that thought, because co-working spaces has come up and it's definitely on our agenda. Oh, kia ora, I forgot to introduce myself. Ko te awa marahi hokanui tauhei oku marae, ko Karlene Puriri tōku ingoa. I work for the tribe, I work for you, and I've probably got one of the best jobs in the tribe. I'm responsible for delivering our economic development and our housing portfolio. Kia ora.
It's on? Terrific, thank you. Kia ora whānau. Hokanui me Waingaro, Oku Marae, ko Tracy Huinat Monspan taku ingoa. Thank you very much for your comprehensive reports, both this morning and this afternoon. It makes me happy that there are so many resources that we can call on as a tribe. It makes me concerned that there are some things perhaps we're leaving behind and not looking at. I live in Ngaruawahia. It's a depressed town, depressed in terms of economics, education opportunities, and role models for our rangatahi coming through. If you haven't been into town recently, you wouldn't notice that well for a little while. It's been like this. We've got shops that look quite derelict. They're empty. We lost our post office agency in the last 12 months. It's gone. We don't have that anymore. We have 3 $2 shops on the main street. And we're so broke that they try to undercut each other. We also now have a gang quarters on the main road. So where Pharaoh's bookshop used to be, Hucks are in there now. Hucks do some good things for our community, you know.